Have you ever met someone who changed your life in an instant? A fleeting conversation, a chance meeting, or even a passing glance? What if I told you that these moments aren't as random as they seem? The people who cross our paths, the challenges we face, and the guidance we receive are all threads in a larger, intricate tapestry, a web of destiny. Each thread, no matter how small, carries profound meaning, shaping our lives in ways we often don't realize until much later. Welcome to Lotus Light Teachings, where we explore the timeless wisdom of spiritual growth, mindfulness, and interconnectedness. In today's video, we'll unravel the hidden threads of destiny through 7 Zen tales, stories that reveal the beauty, mystery, and transformative power of chance encounters. These tales will inspire you to see your life's journey through a new lens, one that highlights the deep connections and spiritual lessons woven into every experience. If you're ready to explore the profound truths hidden in everyday moments, hit subscribe and join us on this journey of discovery. Segment 1: The Philosophy of Encounters. Understanding the concept of significant encounters. In Buddhist philosophy, the idea that our encounters in life, whether with people, opportunities, or challenges, are not merely coincidental, is deeply rooted in the principles of karma, action, and interdependence. Every meeting, whether it is fleeting or long-lasting, carries a lesson, an opportunity, or a reflection of past actions. These connections are like threads in the vast tapestry of existence, woven together to create the fabric of our lives. The Buddha himself taught that all phenomena arise due to specific conditions and causes. This principle, known as pratityasamutpada, dependent origination, emphasizes that nothing exists independently. Our encounters, therefore, are manifestations of the intricate web of causes and conditions we have participated in through our actions, thoughts, and intentions. In modern life, we often dismiss certain interactions as mere chance or luck. Yet this perspective limits our ability to appreciate the depth and potential of each meeting. When viewed through the lens of Buddhist thought, even the smallest interaction can hold profound significance. A historical lens: Siddhartha's encounter with the 4 sights. One of the most powerful examples of a significant life encounter is Siddhartha Gautama's meeting with the 4 sights: an old man, a sick person, a corpse, and an ascetic. These encounters were far from random. They served as a catalyst for his journey toward enlightenment. Each sight confronted him with the realities of impermanence, anicca, and suffering, dukkha, leading him to question the transient nature of his privileged life as a prince. The old man symbolized the inevitability of aging. The sick person revealed the vulnerability of the human body. The corpse brought the stark reality of death, and the ascetic showed a potential path to transcendence. These meetings were not coincidental but pivotal moments orchestrated by the interconnected causes and conditions of Siddhartha's karmic journey. Modern parallels: Steve Jobs and the encounters that shaped him. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple Incorporated, is a modern figure whose life illustrates the profound impact of significant encounters. Jobs often spoke about how dropping out of college at Reed and subsequently taking a calligraphy course shaped his aesthetic vision for Apple's products. He called this a random encounter. Yet, in hindsight, it was a vital link in the chain of events that defined his legacy. Jobs' story aligns with the Buddhist idea that encounters serve a higher purpose. His meeting with Robert Friedland, a spiritual seeker and owner of an apple farm, introduced Jobs to Zen Buddhism. Friedland's influence led Jobs to embrace simplicity and mindfulness, principles that became central to Apple's design philosophy. These encounters weren't just by chance. They were the unfolding of karmic conditions aligning with Jobs' destiny. The mythical dimension: the parable of the elephant and the blind men. In Buddhist literature, the parable of the elephant and the blind men illustrates how encounters can be transformative depending on perception. In this story, a group of blind men encounters an elephant for the first time. Each man touches a different part. One feels the trunk and thinks it's a snake. Another touches the leg and believes it's a tree, while another feels the tail and concludes it's a rope. Their limited perspectives lead to disagreement about the nature of the elephant. This parable teaches that every encounter, like each blind man's experience, is partial and shaped by our biases and perceptions. To fully understand the significance of an encounter, one must step beyond their limited perspective and embrace the whole truth. This lesson is timeless and resonates deeply in today's fragmented, polarized world. Interconnectedness in the digital age. In our era of rapid technological advancements and social media, the philosophy of encounters takes on a new dimension. Platforms like Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook create opportunities for serendipitous meetings that can alter the trajectory of our lives. Consider the story of how Barack Obama's campaign manager, David Plouffe, encountered data analytics experts who revolutionized political campaigns. This meeting wasn't accidental. It was the result of interconnected networks, shared visions, and aligned intentions. These digital encounters reflect the Buddhist principle that we are deeply interconnected, not just physically but also through ideas, emotions, and shared aspirations. Each message sent, each post shared, is like a karmic ripple in the vast ocean of the digital world. A personal insight: Oprah Winfrey and the power of meaningful meetings. Oprah Winfrey, a global media icon, attributes much of her success to the profound connections she has formed throughout her career. One of her most notable encounters was with Maya Angelou, the legendary poet and civil rights activist. Their meeting blossomed into a lifelong mentorship that shaped Oprah's understanding of resilience, forgiveness, and gratitude. Angelou's famous advice to Oprah, "When you know better, you do better," is a distillation of Buddhist wisdom. It reflects the transformative power of meaningful encounters and their ability to propel us toward greater self-awareness and compassion. Lessons for the audience: how to cultivate awareness of encounters. To truly appreciate the philosophy of encounters, one must cultivate mindfulness, study, and presence. In Buddhist practice, this involves being fully aware of the present moment and the interconnected nature of all things. Here are some practical ways to integrate this awareness into daily life. Reflect on past meetings. Consider the people who have significantly influenced your life. What lessons did they teach? How did those encounters shape your journey? Embrace serendipity. Instead of dismissing unexpected meetings, view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Foster interconnectedness. Recognize that every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger web of existence. This mindset can lead to greater empathy and collaboration. Meditate on interdependence. Regular meditation on the concept of dependent origination can deepen your understanding of the non-coincidental nature of life's encounters. Conclusion: encounters as catalysts for transformation. The philosophy of encounters reminds us that every meeting, whether with a person, a challenge, or an idea, holds the potential for transformation. By adopting a mindful approach and recognizing the interdependence of all things, we can unlock the profound lessons hidden in our everyday interactions. From the Buddha's foresights to the modern stories of Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey, the power of meaningful encounters transcends time and culture, offering us timeless insights into the nature of existence. Segment 2. The Aged Monk's Insight. Zen Tale: Hataka and Hiroshi under the Cherry Tree. Hataka, an aged monk with decades of meditative practice and wisdom, often sat beneath the ancient cherry tree in the monastery garden. One spring morning, Hiroshi, a young and restless student troubled by doubts about his path in life, approached Hataka. The cherry blossoms were in full bloom, their delicate pink petals drifting to the ground like whispers of impermanence. "Master," Hiroshi began, his voice tinged with frustration, "if life is a garden, as you often say, then why do some people seem to have bountiful blooms while others toil in barren soil? Why do some paths cross in harmony while others only bring pain?" Hataka smiled gently, his weathered face serene as he plucked a fallen blossom from the ground. "Hiroshi, a garden is not merely the result of chance. It is the reflection of how we nurture it. But, like the cherry blossom, Every garden must also yield to the seasons. Let me tell you something about this tree. Hiroshi leaned forward. His curiosity piqued. Hataka continued, "When I was your age, I planted this tree as a fragile sapling. I watered it daily, protected it from storms, and even spoke to it, believing that my care would ensure its strength. Yet, no matter how much I tried to control its growth, it bloomed only when it was ready, and its petals fell when their time had come. Does that mean we have no control over our lives?" Hiroshi asked, his brows furrowed. "Not at all," replied Hataka. "We are both gardeners and blossoms. We shape our gardens through our actions, but we must also accept the rhythms of nature, the karma we inherit, and the encounters we are destined to experience. The people who cross our paths are like the winds that scatter these petals. Some winds are gentle and nurturing, others are fierce and testing, but all are necessary to shape the garden of your life." Hiroshi sat in silence, watching as a gust of wind scattered the fallen petals into the air. He began to understand. Life's encounters were neither entirely random nor entirely within his control. They were opportunities to cultivate wisdom and compassion, to nurture the garden of his existence. Philosophical and psychological implications of destiny-driven encounters. The interplay of free will and predestined connections. The story of Hataka and Hiroshi invites reflection on the tension between free will and predestination. In Buddhist philosophy, encounters are seen as the result of karma, the cumulative effect of actions, thoughts, and intentions from past and present lives. This perspective suggests that while certain events may feel destined, they are ultimately rooted in the choices we and others have made over countless moments. Psychologically, this duality is echoed in the concept of locus of control, which refers to the degree to which individuals believe they can influence the events in their lives. Those with an internal locus of control feel empowered by their actions, while those with an external locus attribute outcomes to fate or external forces. The philosophy of destiny-driven encounters offers a middle path, recognizing that while we cannot control every aspect of life, we have the power to shape our responses and intentions. The metaphor of life as a garden. The metaphor of life as a garden, as presented by Hataka, resonates deeply with both Eastern and Western philosophical traditions. In a garden, every element, sunlight, soil, rain, and wind, plays a role in the flourishing of plants. Similarly, in life, our relationships, experiences, and inner growth are influenced by external factors, the karmic winds, and internal effort, the gardener's care. This metaphor has profound psychological implications. Research in positive psychology highlights the importance of viewing life's challenges as opportunities for growth. Much like a gardener sees weeds as a chance to tend the soil. By embracing this perspective, individuals can cultivate resilience, patience, and a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of their experiences. The cherry blossom as a symbol of impermanence. In the Zen tale, the cherry blossom serves as a powerful symbol of impermanence, Enika, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. The transient beauty of the blossoms mirrors the fleeting nature of life's encounters. Psychologically, accepting impermanence can reduce attachment and anxiety, fostering a more balanced and peaceful mindset. The Japanese tradition of hanami, cherry blossom viewing, reflects this understanding. Families and friends gather under blooming cherry trees not only to celebrate beauty, but also to meditate on the passage of time and the value of cherishing each moment. This practice aligns with mindfulness, encouraging individuals to remain present and fully engaged with their surroundings. Real-world parallels. Barack Obama's political encounters. The journey of Barack Obama offers a compelling modern parallel to the tale of Hataka and Hiroshi. Obama often credited key encounters in his life as pivotal to his success. His meeting with David Axelrod, a political consultant who became his campaign strategist, was one such turning point. Axelrod's guidance helped Obama craft a message of hope and change that resonated globally. These encounters, while seemingly fortuitous, were the result of Obama's deliberate cultivation of relationships and alignment with his values, a reflection of the garden metaphor. His story illustrates how destiny-driven meetings can shape a person's path, provided they are nurtured with intention and effort. The psychology of believing in destiny-driven encounters. The power of meaning. Believing in destiny-driven encounters can imbue life with a sense of purpose and meaning. Viktor Frankl, a renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, argued in his seminal work Man's Search for Meaning that the human quest for meaning is a fundamental driver of psychological resilience. Viewing life's encounters as meaningful, even if challenging, can transform how we perceive and respond to adversity. Enhanced resilience and adaptability. When individuals see challenges and relationships as karmic or destined, they may develop greater resilience. This belief encourages them to frame difficulties as opportunities for growth. Aligning with the concept of post-traumatic growth, the idea that people can emerge stronger and more compassionate from adversity. The role of narrative identity. Humans are natural storytellers, constantly weaving narratives about their lives. Viewing encounters as destiny-driven enables individuals to construct a cohesive and empowering life story. This process, known as narrative identity, enhances self-understanding and fosters a sense of continuity and coherence. The philosophical debate. Agency versus determinism. The tale of Hataka and Hiroshi, while rooted in Buddhist thought, raises a universal philosophical question. Are we agents of our destiny, or are we mere actors in a pre-written script? Buddhism navigates this debate with the concept of middle way, acknowledging that while karmic conditions influence our lives, we have the capacity to shape our responses through mindfulness and ethical conduct. This balanced view is echoed in modern philosophy, particularly in existentialism, which emphasizes the interplay between freedom and responsibility. For example, Jean-Paul Sartre argued that humans are condemned to freedom, implying that even within constraints, we bear responsibility for our choices. Similarly, the Buddhist perspective invites us to see encounters as both karmically conditioned and opportunities for conscious action. Practical applications for today's audience. The insights from Hataka's tale and the philosophical analysis of destiny-driven encounters can be applied in practical ways. Mindful reflection. Regularly reflect on the encounters and relationships in your life. What lessons do they offer? How have they shaped your journey? Gratitude practice. Cultivate gratitude for both positive and challenging encounters, recognizing their role in personal growth. Acceptance and effort. Embrace the balance between acceptance of karmic conditions and effort in shaping your responses and intentions. Meditative practices. Engage in meditation to deepen your awareness of interconnectedness and impermanence, fostering a more compassionate and resilient mindset. The aged monk's insight, framed through the metaphor of a garden, offers a timeless perspective on the nature of life's encounters. By understanding these meetings as both karmically conditioned and opportunities for conscious cultivation, we can navigate life with greater wisdom, resilience, and compassion. From Barack Obama's political journey to the cherry blossom's fleeting beauty, the lessons of interconnectedness and impermanence remind us to nurture the gardens of our lives with care and awareness. Segment 3: Teachers in Disguise. Zen Tale, the Wise Farmer and the Arrogant Official. In a small village nestled between the mountains, a wise farmer named Daiki was known for his calm demeanor and insightful advice. One day, an arrogant official arrived at the village, boasting of his power and belittling the simple villagers. When the official encountered Daiki, he decided to challenge the farmer's reputation. "Old man," the official sneered, "if you're so wise, tell me, why should I respect you, a mere peasant, when I hold the power of life and death over you?" Daiki bowed humbly and replied, "If you have such power, you must be a teacher sent to test my patience and humility. Please, continue your lessons." The official, taken aback, was unsure how to respond. Over the following days, he continued to provoke Daiki with insults and demands, but the farmer remained unshaken. Gradually, the official began to see the futility of his behavior. He asked, "How can you endure my treatment without anger or resentment?" Daiki smiled and said, "Every encounter, even with those who challenge us, is an opportunity to cultivate virtue. You have been my teacher in disguise, helping me grow in patience and understanding." Universal lessons from challenging encounters. The story of Daiki and the official embodies a profound truth. Challenging individuals are often teachers in disguise. They compel us to confront our deepest insecurities, prejudices, and emotional reactions. In Buddhist philosophy, these encounters are viewed as opportunities to practice right effort, mindfulness, and compassion, central elements of the Eightfold Path. Expanding the narrative, the Hindu story of Lord Shiva as a beggar. A similar lesson is found in Hindu mythology, where Lord Shiva tests his devotees by appearing as a beggar. One such tale describes a wealthy king who is approached by Shiva in disguise, seeking alms. The king initially dismisses the beggar, seeing him as insignificant. When the beggar persists, the king becomes frustrated and orders him to leave. Only later does the king realize the beggar's true identity and his own failure to demonstrate humility and generosity. This tale reinforces the idea that challenging encounters are spiritual tests, urging us to practice virtues like humility and compassion, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Modern parallels: Nelson Mandela and his jailers. Nelson Mandela's imprisonment on Robben Island is a powerful modern example of learning from difficult individuals. For 27 years, Mandela endured harsh treatment from his jailers. However, instead of harboring resentment, he used these experiences to cultivate empathy and understanding. Mandela famously stated, "Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies." Mandela's transformation of animosity into wisdom exemplifies how challenging encounters can serve as profound opportunities for growth. His ability to see his jailers as teachers in disguise shaped his leadership and ultimately contributed to the peaceful dismantling of apartheid in South Africa. Psychological implications of challenging encounters. The mirror effect. Psychologists often describe challenging individuals as mirrors that reflect our unresolved issues. For example, if someone's arrogance irritates us, it may reveal our own struggles with self-worth or control. Recognizing this dynamic allows us to shift our perspective, viewing such individuals as catalysts for self-awareness and healing, triggers as opportunities for growth. When faced with a challenging individual, it's natural to feel anger, frustration, or even despair. However, these emotional reactions can serve as gateways to deeper understanding. In mindfulness-based practices, triggers are seen not as obstacles but as opportunities to investigate our habitual patterns and cultivate equanimity. Post-traumatic growth. Research in positive psychology highlights the phenomenon of post-traumatic growth, where individuals emerge stronger and more compassionate after facing adversity. Encounters with difficult people, when approached mindfully, can lead to similar growth by teaching resilience, empathy, and forgiveness. Cultural examples of teachers in disguise. Confucius and the unkind neighbor. Confucius, the great Chinese philosopher, once lived next to a neighbor who frequently insulted him. When asked why he tolerated such treatment, Confucius replied, "A person's insults reveal more about their character than mine. Their anger is a lesson for me to remain calm, for I cannot control their actions, only my response." This anecdote illustrates the Confucian value of self-restraint and the importance of focusing on one's character rather than external provocations. The Dalai Lama and the Chinese government. The Dalai Lama's relationship with the Chinese government, which exiled him from Tibet, is a striking example of finding lessons in adversity. Despite the immense challenges, the Dalai Lama has consistently advocated for nonviolence and compassion, stating, "My enemy is my greatest teacher." This perspective embodies the Buddhist principle of seeing difficult encounters as opportunities for spiritual growth. Practical applications, reflective questions, and meditation techniques. Reflective questions. What can I learn? Ask yourself, What lesson is this individual teaching me? Is it patience, humility, or emotional resilience? What is being triggered? Reflect on the emotions that arise during the encounter. Are these feelings rooted in past experiences or unresolved fears? How can I respond with compassion? Consider how you can shift your response from reactive to compassionate. What does the other person's behavior reveal about their struggles? Am I practicing forgiveness? Reflect on whether you're holding onto resentment. How can letting go benefit your mental and emotional well-being? Meditation techniques. Loving kindness meditation, metta. Visualize the challenging individual and silently repeat phrases like, "May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering." This practice fosters empathy and reduces animosity. Body scan meditation. When triggered, practice a body scan to identify where tension resides. Acknowledge these sensations without judgment and breathe into the areas of discomfort. Mindfulness of emotions. Label your emotions during the encounter, e.g., anger, frustration. This practice, known as affect labeling, reduces the intensity of negative emotions and fosters clarity. Compassion meditation. Imagine the challenging individual as a child, vulnerable and seeking love. This perspective helps soften your response and cultivates understanding. Real-world applications. Workplace dynamics. In professional settings, difficult colleagues or supervisors can be teachers in disguise. Instead of reacting impulsively, consider how their behavior might challenge you to develop patience. Communication skills or assertiveness. For example, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, has spoken about how his interactions with difficult individuals shaped his leadership style. By approaching conflicts with empathy and curiosity, he transformed challenging relationships into opportunities for growth. Family relationships. Family members, particularly those with differing values or temperaments, often serve as the most challenging teachers. Practicing active listening and reframing conflicts as opportunities to strengthen bonds can lead to deeper understanding and connection. Conclusion. Embracing teachers in disguise. Encounters with challenging individuals are inevitable, but they hold transformative potential. By approaching these interactions with mindfulness and compassion, we can uncover the hidden lessons they offer, cultivating resilience, self-awareness, and empathy. From Nelson Mandela to the Dalai Lama, history's greatest figures remind us that even our greatest adversaries can become our most profound teachers. Segment 4, Guardians of Our Paths. Zen Tale, the majestic tree in the storm. In a secluded mountain village, a young monk named Rinji was tasked with planting trees to rejuvenate a barren hillside. Among the saplings, there was one particularly robust tree, which Rinji named Tenji, meaning heaven's guardian. Over the years, Rinji tended the trees with care, but when a powerful storm swept through the village, it was Tenji that stood firm, shielding the other, younger trees from destruction. After the storm, Rinji found that many of the other trees had survived because Tenji had borne the brunt of the winds. The elder monk, Master Kaido, explained, "Tenji is not merely a tree, it is a guardian, standing strong so that others may thrive." In life, we all encounter such guardians, those who shield us during our storms and guide us toward growth. Rinji reflected on the people in his life who had supported him. His teacher who patiently taught him the Dharma, the farmer who fed him during hard times, and even a stranger who offered kind words when he was doubting his path. Indeed, Rinji said, guardians come in many forms, often unnoticed in the moment. The role of guardians in our lives. Guardians are the people, experiences, or even ideas that act as anchors during life's turbulent moments. They may provide guidance, protection, or inspiration, often without seeking recognition. Like Tenji, they endure challenges so others can grow. These figures can range from mentors and parents to historical icons or spiritual teachings. The philosophical perspective. In Buddhist philosophy, guardianship aligns with the principle of interdependence, praditya samutpada, Just as the majestic tree in the storm protected the saplings, our well-being and growth are intricately linked to the support we receive from others. Recognizing this interdependence fosters gratitude and humility, encouraging us to honor those who have played a guiding role in our journey. The psychological impact of supportive figures. Psychologically, guardians provide a sense of safety and resilience. Studies in developmental psychology emphasize the importance of secure attachments, which act as buffers against adversity. Whether these guardians are parents, mentors, or friends, their presence significantly influences our ability to navigate life's challenges with confidence. Examples of guardianship in the lives of prominent figures. 1. Malala Yousafzai and her father. Ziauddin Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate, credits her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, as a crucial guardian in her journey, while growing up in a region where educating girls was a radical act. Ziauddin supported Malala's education and activism despite threats from extremists. His belief in her potential and willingness to stand by her in the face of danger exemplifies the role of a guardian as a source of courage and encouragement. 2. Steve Jobs and his mentor, Robert Friedland. Steve Jobs often spoke about Robert Friedland, a spiritual seeker and entrepreneur, as a pivotal influence in his life. Friedland introduced Jobs to Zen Buddhism and the concept of mindfulness, which became foundational to Apple's design philosophy. Friedland's mentorship was akin to the majestic tree in the Zen tale, providing Jobs with the intellectual and spiritual grounding that shaped his visionary approach. 3. Eleanor Roosevelt and Lorena Hickok. Eleanor Roosevelt, a transformational First Lady and human rights advocate, leaned on the unwavering support of Lorena Hickok, her confidant and close friend. Hickok's encouragement and belief in Eleanor's capabilities helped her navigate the challenges of public life and establish herself as a champion of social justice. Hickok's role as a guardian allowed Roosevelt to flourish and leave an enduring legacy. How guardians shape our inner and outer journeys. Guardians as catalysts for growth. Guardians often challenge us to rise above our limitations. They may push us out of our comfort zones, helping us discover strengths we didn't know we possessed. For example, a teacher who demands excellence or a coach who encourages perseverance can serve as guardians by holding us accountable to our potential. The subtle presence of guardians. Not all guardians are immediately recognizable. They may appear as fleeting encounters, such as a stranger who offers timely advice or a book that changes the trajectory of one's thinking. These quiet guardians leave indelible marks, guiding us in ways we only understand in hindsight. Guardians in the spiritual context. In spiritual traditions, guardians are often depicted as deities, saints, or bodhisattvas who protect and guide practitioners. In Buddhism, for example, Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva of compassion, is seen as a guardian of those who suffer. These archetypal figures remind us of the enduring support available in the spiritual realm, inspiring faith and perseverance. Interactive reflection. Recognizing the guardians in your life. To deepen engagement, encourage viewers to reflect on and share stories of guardianship in their own lives. These reflections not only foster gratitude, but also strengthen the community's collective appreciation for interdependence. Reflective questions for viewers. Who has been a guardian for you? Think about a person who has supported or guided you during a challenging time. How did their presence impact your life? How did their actions shape your path? Reflect on specific ways their support influenced your choices, character, or outlook. Have you acted as a guardian for others? Consider moments when you may have played a similar role in someone else's life. How did that experience feel? What lessons have you learned from guardianship? Identify the key lessons these figures taught you, whether directly or indirectly. Practical applications. Honoring and becoming guardians. Expressing gratitude. Reach out to someone who has been a guardian in your life and express your appreciation. A heartfelt note or conversation can strengthen your connection and bring joy to both parties. Becoming a guardian. Identify opportunities to support others in your community. whether through mentorship, acts of kindness, or simply being present during difficult times. Embodying the qualities of a guardian enriches both giver and receiver. Meditative practices. Gratitude meditation. Sit quietly and visualize the guardians in your life. Reflect on their contributions and silently offer thanks. Metta, loving kindness meditation. Extend wishes of well-being and protection to your guardians and others who may be in need of support. Tree visualization. Imagine yourself as a strong tree, rooted firmly in the ground. Visualize providing shade and shelter to others, symbolizing your role as a guardian. The ripple effect of guardianship. Guardianship is not limited to grand acts of heroism. It often manifests in small, consistent gestures of support, like the sturdy tree in the storm. These figures may go uncelebrated but leave lasting impacts. From the bold activism of Malala Yousafzai to the quiet strength of Eleanor Roosevelt's confidant, the presence of guardians reminds us of the profound interconnectedness of all beings, encouraging viewers to recognize, honor, and embody the role of guardians ensures that the cycle of support and inspiration continues, creating a more compassionate and resilient world. Segment 5. Lifelong Companions. Zen Tale, The Two Cranes. In a tranquil valley surrounded by misty mountains, two cranes, Taro and Mika, shared a lifelong bond. They met as fledglings near a clear, flowing stream and grew together through the seasons, dancing in spring rains, sheltering one another during harsh winters, and soaring high above the valley under the summer sun. One autumn, a fierce storm swept through the valley, separating the cranes. For weeks, they searched for each other amidst the destruction. Just as despair began to take root, Taro found Mika, injured and struggling to fly. Rather than abandon her, Taro stayed by Mika's side, bringing her food and shielding her from predators. Over time, Mika healed, and the two resumed their flights together. Years later, as their feathers turned gray, they remained inseparable. Taro said to Mika, "Though the winds may part us, we are bound by something deeper than this valley, deeper than the sky itself. Our companionship has shaped who we are, and I am forever grateful." Interdependence and deep bonds. In Buddhist philosophy, all relationships arise from karma, the interconnected web of causes and conditions. Lifelong companions, however, are unique in their depth and endurance. These connections transcend surface-level interactions, reflecting a profound intertwining of lives and mutual influence. The crane's story illustrates interdependence, pratityasamutpita, a fundamental Buddhist principle. Just as Taro and Mika supported one another through life's storms, lifelong companions provide stability and nourishment, fostering growth and resilience. These relationships remind us that our lives are enriched and defined by the people with whom we share them. Philosophers and spiritual teachers across cultures have long emphasized the rarity of true companionship. The Buddha once said, "A friend who is wise, kind, and virtuous is the greatest of treasures." Similarly, Aristotle described deep friendship as a bond based on mutual virtue and the shared pursuit of the good life, a relationship that requires time, effort, and trust. In modern terms, lifelong companions act as anchors in the shifting seas of existence. They witness our transformations, provide support during challenges, and celebrate our victories, offering a sense of continuity in an impermanent world. 1. Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu shared a lifelong friendship rooted in their shared struggle against apartheid and their commitment to reconciliation in South Africa. Their bond was marked by mutual respect, laughter, and unwavering support for one another's vision of peace and justice. Even during Mandela's imprisonment, Tutu tirelessly advocated for his release and kept the hope of freedom alive. When Mandela was freed, the two worked together to heal a divided nation, demonstrating the transformative power of a lifelong connection dedicated to shared purpose. 2. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. The friendship between Bill Gates and Warren Buffett exemplifies how deep connections can transcend professional collaboration. Though from different industries, Gates and Buffett bonded over shared values, curiosity, and philanthropy. Their friendship has not only enriched their personal lives but also led to significant global impact through initiatives like the Giving Pledge, where they encourage billionaires to donate a majority of their wealth to social causes. Their story illustrates that lifelong connections often arise when individuals share a commitment to common goals and mutual learning. 3. The Dalai Lama and Heinrich Harrer. The Dalai Lama's bond with Heinrich Harrer, an Austrian mountaineer and author, offers a poignant example of a cross-cultural lifelong connection. Harrer, who spent years in Tibet during the Dalai Lama's youth, became a mentor and friend to the young spiritual leader, introducing him to the wider world. This relationship left a lasting imprint on the Dalai Lama's global perspective and his ability to bridge cultural divides. Their enduring friendship exemplifies the transformative potential of mutual respect and understanding across differences. Broader life lessons about lifelong connections. 1. Lifelong companions as mirrors. Lifelong companions often act as mirrors, reflecting our growth, virtues, and flaws. They hold us accountable to our best selves while offering compassion during moments of weakness. This dynamic fosters self-awareness and continuous improvement. 2. Stability amid change. In an impermanent world, lifelong connections provide a sense of stability and continuity. These bonds remind us that, despite life's uncertainties, there are relationships that endure, offering comfort and a sense of belonging. 3. The importance of reciprocity. Deep connections thrive on reciprocity. Just as Taro supported Mika during her injury, lifelong companions share a mutual commitment to each other's well-being. This balance of giving and receiving strengthens the bond and ensures its longevity. 4. The role of vulnerability. Lifelong connections are built on trust and vulnerability. Being open about fears, dreams, and struggles allows companions to connect authentically, creating a bond that withstands the tests of time. Practical insights for cultivating lifelong connections. 1. Recognize and nurture existing bonds. Reflect on the relationships in your life that have stood the test of time. How can you deepen these connections? Regular communication, acts of kindness, and expressions of gratitude are essential for nurturing these bonds. 2. Foster shared growth. Lifelong companions often grow together through shared experiences, challenges, and aspirations. Identify common goals or interests that can strengthen your relationship, whether through learning, traveling, or collaborating on meaningful projects. 3. Practice forgiveness. No relationship is without conflict. Lifelong companions understand the importance of forgiveness, letting go of grievances to preserve the connection. Cultivate empathy and a willingness to move past misunderstandings. 4. Be present. In today's fast-paced world, being fully present with someone is a rare gift. Make time for your companions, free from distractions, to reinforce the bond. Reflective questions for viewers. Encourage viewers to reflect on their own lifelong connections and engage in introspection through the following questions. Identify the people who have supported and influenced you over the years. What makes these connections unique? Reflect on the ways these companions have shaped your character, values, or perspective on life. Consider actions you can take to deepen your relationships and express appreciation for your companions. Evaluate how you contribute to your relationships. Are you offering the same support and understanding you seek? Lifelong connections are rare and invaluable treasures, offering support, growth, and continuity in a transient world. Whether through historical figures like Mandela and Tutu, or the universal bond of the two cranes, these relationships remind us of the power of shared journeys. Recognizing and cherishing these bonds enriches our lives and reinforces the profound truth of interdependence, a cornerstone of human existence. By nurturing and celebrating these connections, we honor the beauty of companionship that transcends time and circumstance. Segment 6. The Web of Destiny. Zen Tale 5. The Weaver and the Golden Thread. In a bustling village, an elderly weaver named Aiko was known for crafting intricate tapestries. One day, a traveler approached her and marveled at her work, noting a single golden thread that ran through each piece. "Why do you always include this golden thread?" the traveler asked. Aiko replied, "The thread represents the web of destiny that connects all lives. Even in the darkest times, it shines, reminding us that we are never alone and that every event, no matter how small, is part of a greater design." The traveler nodded, still puzzled. "But what if the thread breaks?" Aiko smiled. "Then we must weave it back together with care, for it is in mending that we find strength." Zen Tale 6. The River of Encounters. A young monk, Sora, sought enlightenment but felt lost and disconnected. His master, Hiro, took him to a river and said, "Observe the water. What do you see?" Sora replied, "The river flows endlessly, carrying leaves, branches, and pebbles." Hiro nodded. "Indeed, each object it carries is like the people we meet. Some stay briefly, while others shape the current. The river itself is like life, flowing through time and space, binding us together. You must learn to honor each encounter as part of the river's purpose." As Sora reflected, he realized that every relationship, no matter how fleeting, contributed to his growth and understanding. Zen Tale 7. The Empty Cup. In a quiet village, a scholar named Kenshin visited a Zen master, eager to discuss destiny and human connection. As the master poured tea into Kenshin's cup, he continued pouring even as it overflowed. "Why do you pour when the cup is already full?" Kenshin asked. The master replied, "You are like this cup, full of your own ideas and unable to receive wisdom. To understand destiny and connection, you must first empty your cup." Kenshin spent the following weeks practicing humility, realizing that openness and a willingness to unlearn were essential to grasp the interconnected nature of life. Implications of the tales on modern life and spiritual practices. 1. The Golden Thread. Finding purpose amid chaos. Aiko's golden thread reminds us of the underlying connection between all beings and events, echoing the Buddhist principle of interdependence, pradityasamutpada. This concept holds immense relevance in modern life, where many people feel isolated due to technology, societal pressures, or personal struggles. Recognize that challenges are not isolated events but part of a larger narrative. For example, setbacks in a career or relationships can lead to unexpected growth or new opportunities. Cultivate gratitude for the golden threads in your life, relationships, mentors, or moments of clarity that have guided you. Example from history. Consider the life of Mahatma Gandhi, whose experiences of racism in South Africa became the golden thread leading to his philosophy of nonviolence and his role in India's independence. Gandhi's journey exemplifies how seemingly disconnected events are part of a purposeful design. 2. The River of Encounters. Embracing impermanence. The story of Sora and the river underscores the transient yet impactful nature of human connections. In Buddhist thought, this aligns with the concept of anicca, impermanence, which teaches that all things are temporary but meaningful. Embrace impermanence by valuing relationships without clinging to them. For instance, a colleague who moves to a different city may have contributed significantly to your personal or professional growth. Even if their presence was temporary, understand that letting go is not a loss but a way to honor the natural flow of life. Psychological insight. Research in attachment theory highlights that healthy relationships are rooted in secure attachments, which allow individuals to appreciate connections without excessive dependency. The river metaphor encourages this balanced approach. Barack Obama often spoke about the mentors and allies he encountered throughout his life, from his grandmother's wisdom to the advisors in his political career. Each played a role in shaping his journey, even if their presence was not permanent. 3. The Empty Cup. Cultivating openness. The tale of the empty cup highlights the importance of humility and openness to new perspectives. a vital lesson in a world increasingly polarized by rigid beliefs and echo chambers. Practice active listening in conversations, especially with those who hold different views. This approach fosters empathy and expands understanding. Approach challenges with a beginner's mindset, focusing on learning rather than asserting preconceived notions. Spiritual practice. Meditation practices like Shoshin, beginner's mind, encourage practitioners to see the world with fresh eyes, fostering curiosity and openness. Dalai Lama, despite being a spiritual leader, often emphasizes the need to learn from others, including scientists and thinkers from different traditions. His openness has allowed him to bridge spiritual and secular perspectives, making his teachings universally accessible. Broader lessons from the tales. 1. The web of interconnection. Together, these tales illustrate the intricate web of destiny that binds us all. The golden thread, river, and empty cup are metaphors for the relationships and events that shape our lives. Recognizing this interconnectedness can inspire a deeper sense of empathy, gratitude, and purpose. 2. Embracing uncertainty. Modern life is often characterized by uncertainty and rapid change. These tales teach us that embracing the flow of life, rather than resisting it, leads to greater peace and understanding. The river metaphor, in particular, reminds us to navigate life with flexibility and grace. 3. The role of humility. Humility is a recurring theme, whether in the weaver's acknowledgement of life's fragility, Sora's realization about the fleeting nature of encounters, or Kenshin's journey toward openness. Humility allows us to see ourselves as part of a larger whole, fostering connection and spiritual growth. Practical exercises inspired by the tales. Golden thread journaling. Reflect on events or people that have served as golden threads in your life. Write about how these connections have shaped your journey. River meditation. Visualize a flowing river and the objects it carries. Reflect on the people and experiences that have entered and left your life, acknowledging their role in shaping your path. Empty cup practice. Before engaging in a discussion or learning experience, take a moment to empty your cup. This can involve deep breaths and affirmations like, "I approach this with an open mind and heart." Conclusion: the modern relevance of the web of destiny. The Zen tales of the golden thread, river, and empty cup offer timeless insights into spiritual growth and human connection. They remind us that life's events are not isolated but intricately connected, forming a web of destiny. By embracing this interconnectedness with humility, gratitude, and openness, we can navigate modern life's complexities with greater wisdom and compassion. Whether through the lives of figures like Gandhi, Obama, or the Dalai Lama, these lessons resonate universally, inspiring us to see our own stories as part of a greater design. Through these 7 Zen tales, we've explored the hidden threads of destiny that connect us all, from chance encounters to lifelong companions, from challenging teachers to steadfast guardians. Every relationship and experience contributes to the tapestry of our lives. These stories remind us to approach life with curiosity, gratitude, and an open heart, recognizing that nothing is truly random. Now it's your turn. Reflect on the people and experiences that have shaped your journey. Who are the golden threads in your life? Share your stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear how destiny has woven its web for you. And if these tales have inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to spread the wisdom of interconnectedness. Join us at Lotus Light Teachings as we continue exploring the profound truths hidden in everyday moments. Together, we can uncover the beauty and purpose in the threads of our shared destiny.